Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Live from the Sugar Shack in Texas, USA. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, Dave Hansen with the Houston Electric Vehicle Association. We'll also have the events calendar. Mr. Mars reviews the new Wrangler 4xE, plus the stories making automotive news headlines. Howdy. Along with Mike out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, we need more Jeff Seekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. I did get that right, didn't I? The Wrangler 4xE?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Because you looked at me for just a brief second, I thought, oh, God, he hasn't given me an update on what he's reviewing this week, or
No.
he's going to review it again after he reviewed it the week before.
He's got a Raptor queued
I was
up.
talking to Conrad about the truck. You mentioned getting the pictures and stuff of the truck. And I was telling him that it's rained every day, and I haven't been able to do that. And I thought you caught me doing something wrong.
Again.
And that you heard me. But you didn't hear me, so I didn't get caught.
He's got a Raptor.
Well, I will tell you that the new graphics package that John over at Gulf Coast Auto Shield stuck on there, it looks great.
Thank you, John.
It does. Yes, Thank you, John. I'm going to put that over into the spot we do for him.
And, you know, that was an interesting thing that the way that it's applied, it's not that big sticker.
No. I my granddaughter figured it out. He put a full wrap on.
Yeah, it's a full wrap.
Oh, she got down in the back and said, "See, here's where it stops and stuff." That's why we couldn't feel it. You know, it amazed me.
Well, so what they did is that they put the new design on a wrap and then put the wrap on the vehicle.
But they treated the paint first.
Oh, absolutely. Yes,
and that's what he does.
All that stuff, and the wheels, and I mean, it's gorgeous. I mean,
you don't deserve it.
Well, I ordered a car cover, but I was telling her it's rained every day since we got back from New Braunfels, so I haven't got a chance to clean it up.
But look where you live. It rains every day over there all the time.
Well, I know, but usually I get a day or two, so I got to get it clean, get some pictures, and put it under the cover to protect it.
Yeah,
Did you get the cover?
I got it. It's here. It came.
Mars was saying earlier you should get a cover for the Jaguar so you don't have to look at it.
Oh! And someone said
either that or have it parked around the corner
that's what
over the
they
church
also
parking
said
lot.
Yeah,
well, I understand it gets excellent fuel economy because it's on the hook most of the time.
No, it's not quite that bad, but I did discover
a
button on the center console that's called Eco, changes the whole vehicle dynamic.
The whole dynamic.
And it's like, good for me.
Changes it from a Jaguar to what?
Well, you don't have to worry about
Jaguar.
A house cat.
Because now we're going to talk to Dave Hansen. He's with the Houston Electric Vehicle Association. And Dave, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us today. Yeah. I'm sorry that you've had to sit and listen to this torture for the past 15 minutes while you've been waiting.
Oh, no, this has been good, and glad to hear that somebody's reviewing the Wrangler 4xE. That's great.
Yeah, well, that would be Mr. Mars. And it's in the press fleet. So, matter of fact, I think that I had that thing in the past year or so, and I was impressed with it. Well, Houston Electric Vehicle Association. So before we get going, what kind of car do you drive, Dave?
Well, I have a Tesla Model Y in my garage, and that's sitting next to the car my son drives, a Tesla Model 3.
So you're a big Tesla guy.
Well, my wife is driving our Tesla Model S.
Oh, my God.
You got all the alphabet.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so apparently you've got the full range of Teslas there in your garage.
Yeah. Well, we've gone through some plug-in hybrids, and a lot of the members of the club love the Rivian and the Chevy Bolt and the Mustang Mach-E, so we've got all the different cars in the club.
Well, I have to be honest with you that I have finally come over halfway to your side in the fact that I really like what I get out of these hybrids that I don't have to plug in because that's a pain in the butt. Now, with you've got probably all the chargers there at the house and you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Then that seems to be one of the biggest hangups that I have is finding a charging station because I don't have your luxury that you have, but trying to find a charging station, one, and charging station that works, two. So,
Yes.
that is a major problem. And I know that you've got answers for all of that stuff. And I realize that the Biden administration is putting bajillions of dollars into bumping up the number of chargers around the United States. Okay, that's all fine, well, and good. But what are we doing today?
Reducing the number of power plants.
Yeah. Well, we're now reducing the number of power plants. So I'm not exactly sure where all this is going to go. Does any of that worry you, Dave?
Well, what I often recommend to folks is consider what you do for your local driving and when you're taking a trip. And if you're going to take a trip and you want to just stop at gas stations, just rent a car. Or what I've done with somebody is we've switched cars during the time that my family wanted to take a trip. So we've used a friend's gas car and they've used our electric car for driving around town. So that way you don't have to be concerned with what you need to do on a trip, because most of the weeks of the year you're doing your local driving. And so for us, we just charge in our garage. When we do take a trip, well, then we sometimes want something different. So we'll rent a car or borrow a car.
Dave, are you still working?
No, I'm retired now.
Okay. Well, and that's another thing, too. I will tell you that where I work, they have a 110 charger, and then they also have next to it a charger for Teslas, which I thought was pretty cool. And I've used that 110 charger because all of my stuff is 110. And, of course, there's no Tesla press fleet cars, so we don't have to worry about that. But, when I'm at work, I got 8 hours that the thing stays on a 110 charger. I drive it home, put it on the 110 charger here that comes with the car, and I figured out a way to make it work for me. But my biggest problem is, like, for instance, let's just say that we've got a car that has a 200-mile range. And I know that they're much more than that in many instances, but let's just use that because some of them are out there that do have a 200-mile range.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to go to San Antonio. Well, now I know that I'm going to have to stop somewhere and get a charge on the car because it's not going to make it. And that's an issue with me. Please address that and help me.
Yeah, with a number of folks, it is. And there have been a lot of bad experiences of chargers that have been broken when somebody gets to them. And so a lot of folks say, well, if you know that you're going to do a certain amount of long distance driving, the Tesla charger network, they call them superchargers, can't be beat. There's no other network of chargers in the U.S.
Right. And
so that's why a lot of people will do that. I've taken our Model 3 from here in Texas to visit cousins in New Jersey, met up with my son there. We then drove to my brother's house in Illinois and came back to Texas. It was 4,444 miles in a Tesla. And we just stopped at the superchargers along the way, and that worked great. Another friend, she got her Hyundai, and she picked it up in Atlanta, and she drove it. And, yeah, she had to call at the phone number at one of the chargers she wanted to use, because there's the two different kinds of chargers.
Right.
There's ones that are just Tesla and the ones that are for all the other cars, whether it be a Hyundai, a Kia, a Ford,
Correct.
Ford Lightning. And so, yeah, those networks are still developing. They call it the CCS, the Combined Charging System, and those networks are still developing. So, yeah, that's why I say that if someone is not familiar with where they might want to charge, just borrow a gas car for that trip, because it's infrastructure that has to be developed.
Yeah. What do you tell somebody that is really, they're looking at buying an EV? Because let's face it, I mean, most of them are more expensive than a gasoline car if you put them head to head. So what do you tell people that says, okay, I'm looking at an EV, Dave, which one should I buy? What do I need to look for? What are the things that I need to go through to make me feel comfortable about spending all that money on an EV?
Well, one of the things that I tell people to look at is look at total cost of ownership. Because, yes, purchase price is higher typically for an EV now. And there are some used EVs. There's a used EV market now that isn't very old. More people are buying new ones. But you look at what is your cost? How long are you going to own the vehicle? I often say to folks, the best car is the one that you've already paid off, and it meets your reliability needs. So once a car is not reliable enough, okay, a lot of people go shopping for a new car. They might be considering an EV. So if you're looking just at the purchase price, yeah, you can see some difference. Although we're seeing that changing. Right now, I think Chevy Bolts, because Chevy has discontinued making the Bolts, I think there's some good pricing on those, and there's a tax credit available. And as of January next year, the tax credit will be implementable at the time that you purchase a car. So right now you have to wait till you file your taxes to get that back. But it's going to be coming up in January that at the time that you buy it, you immediately cut that off of the price. So that's going to help with that sticker shock that a lot of people have. But when you look at total cost of ownership, less maintenance cost, things that besides your time that you save on the maintenance. And so that's one of those things to compare. The kind of ride that you like. I mean, some people really love that acceleration that you get. I mean, Porsche's electrifying all their cars because they know that Porsche buyers want to have great acceleration. And so to keep up, they are putting electric motors, often in a hybrid, like you said, although they also have a full battery electric Porsche out on the market now. So those are the kinds of things to consider. And when you consider how long you keep a car, a lot of the electrics that are coming out now, I mean, you're already talking about a car reaching 200,000. I hear predictions that the electric cars being built now are at least 500,000 mile cars. And maybe for a typical person owning a car, they may not expect to get up that much. But if a car gets put into a fleet, we were talking about some of the driverless cars and some of those problems, there's possibilities that cars will start to get driven up close to 500,000 miles.
Yeah, if they're going 24
hours.
hours.
No wear to an engine, that electric motor can easily last 500,000
Well,
miles.
I will say
Battery
this, and
chemistries-
you already know this, that Hertz now has a fleet of Teslas, and that's pretty exciting because, you go to you fly into
LAX or San
LAX and
Francisco
you
can
can
rent a Tesla.
Yeah, rent a
you
Tesla.
can rent a Chevy Bolt as well.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Yep.
let's change gears here, and let's talk about, since you're in touch with all of this, let's talk about dealerships and how they are handling the Houston electrical fleet of vehicles that are coming to them today. Aren't most of the dealerships now, if they're going to have electric vehicles that sell them, that they have to meet some sort of requirement to not only sell them but service them when they need service, warranty, repair, and that sort of stuff? Where are the dealers now in the electric vehicle market?
Well, I think that's kind of a hit and miss with a lot of them. Some of these corporations have asked their dealers, do you want to put in the equipment? Do you want to train your personnel? And some of them have said, nope, we're going to close up shop. Maybe somebody's near retirement age. You were talking about Beck and Maston.
Right. Uh-huh.
And so, but I think some of the dealers are saying, okay, we're in this business for the long haul. We've made investments before. We've spiffed up our store periodically. We keep our employees trained both on the sales side so that they're familiar with it and on the ones that, are hands-on. And so that's something that a number of dealerships, they've stepped up and they've said, I mean, I've read about it, whether it be Ford or one of the GM brands, and they are saying, okay, this is a new type of vehicle. Yeah, we've been driving internal combustion engines ever since we left the horse, way more than a century ago. Mm-hmm. So everybody alive today, we're all used to internal combustion engines, and change is hard. But if you want to get the advantages of the new technology, I mean, most all of us go around with smartphones now because they do things for us that we want. Right. And I think the same will be true with the electric cars. We like the acceleration. We like less maintenance. We like being able to I sometimes say it's like Groundhog Day. You wake up in the morning and you got a full tank in your car because it filled up overnight. Right. You were talking about 8 hours plugging in somewhere during the day. The same thing. At the end of that time, you're ready to go. You don't need to make a stop somewhere else for your local driving. But the dealers need to step up, and some are, and some have decided, nope, we're going to just finish off. And so in some ways, that model of less maintenance is kind of worrisome, I think, to some dealers, because that has been a profit center traditionally. And there is still maintenance. I mean, we need tires, we need windshield wipers, things like that. but it's not to the same level as a internal combustion engine maintenance. So the dealers, the model is going to change a little bit for them, but I think for the most part they're going to adjust to it.
And where are sales in Houston? Do you know?
As far as like percentage of all cars,
Well,
sold?
yeah. I mean, I assume that more and more sales are happening right now at dealers that involve electric vehicles.
Yeah, I saw a Lyric at the Keels and Wheels in Seabrook last weekend. It was really nice. It's always wonderful to see all the great classic cars. That's what I go for. I love seeing those. But they had a dealer there who had brought a Cadillac Lyric, and that's a new all-electric that Cadillac has put out. And so I didn't ask any of the folks there in particular. In general, if you kind of look at car sales around the world, China is now the biggest market for car sales. And the percentage of cars being sold in China that are electric, it's like 30%. I mean, it's really high. You look at a country like Norway, they're up to like 80% because they've got a lot of incentives and there is no domestic car maker. Every car in Norway is an imported car. And that's what people are going after now. And Europe is also got a higher percentage than the U.S. I think the U.S. is something like 6%. So I don't know the Houston area itself, but just across the U.S., which includes California, which I think is
Much
got more
higher.
people buying electric cars.
Much higher.
But about 6% of cars sold last quarter were electric. So people are going after, whether it be one of the South Korean makes, a couple of the Japanese makes are jumping into electric cars. A couple are still waiting. They're still testing the waters, like Toyota.
Audi and
But
Mercedes.
they recently made a big announcement.
Well, I will tell you that Houston Auto Dealers Association came out with some figures in the first quarter of this year. Total market share, 92,000 autos sold in the Houston region in the first quarter. And of the EVs, Tesla was 20.7%, followed by Toyota at 16.6% and Ford at 15.2%. So things are coming along, and more people here in the Houston area, I think, are buying, or at least interested in EVs. What is the Houston Electric Vehicle Association doing? What do you guys do?
Well, we have monthly meetings, and we just had 2 speakers talking about retail electric provider power plans, because one of the good things is that if you plug your car in, you can actually plug it in early, but if you set the schedule for it to charge at night, you can take advantage of a lower electric rate. And then the other great thing that we have our club members, our volunteers do, is we go to events like Drive Electric Earth Day. So on Discovery Green back here in April, we had some of our owners come and they brought their cars and they opened the car doors, and members of the public who were out there for all the fun events on Discovery Green came and got to talk to the owners and find out what it is they like about their cars. And then typically in September, we have National Drive Electric Week, which is kind of similar. So we'll set up somewhere around the city, and our members just of their own accord just bring their cars out and like talking to people. Not like a lot of other car clubs, folks like their
Interesting,
cars.
yeah. So do you guys have a website that we can go to find out all this information?
Yes, HoustonEVA.org is our website. I'm not sure if it's really visible there.
It's a
Probably.
little bit small for these
figure out what
tired
they
old
want.
eyes,
Yeah.
Dave.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Okay. All right.
All right. So, yeah. And we're also on Facebook. A lot of people like making comments there on Facebook. And our monthly meetings, ever since the pandemic, we've gone to a hybrid format. So we do a Zoom recording, and some of our members who are, traveling for work or something like that, they'll participate via Zoom, as well as the folks that are in the room. And then we record it and we put it onto a YouTube channel. So folks can look us up on YouTube, and that way you can see what topics. I mean, somebody may care about electric providers. Somebody else might want to know about the newest technology that's coming out in cars.
Well,
So,
Dave, yes, we're quite familiar with all of that stuff ourselves since we're doing video as well. Dave, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Stay in touch. You got some news to tell us, be sure and give us a ring, and we'll get you on the air.
Thank you.
sounds good.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Dave Hansen, Houston Electric Vehicle Association. All right, time now for the events calendar, things coming up, and Conrad has that.
Yep, and Conroe, Texas Classic Car Club will have their spring 2023 car show on May 20th at the Conroe Outlet Mall. Saturday, June 10th at 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., St. Luke's Health presents the 2023 Men's Health Car Show at St. Luke's Health at the Lakeside Hospital in the Woodlands. June 2nd is the first Friday in downtown Bryan, sponsored by Baylor Scott and White Health. That's from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. for a car show. June 18th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the second annual Father's Day Classic Car Show at the Vineyard at Florence in Florence, Texas.
Cool.
Not Florence, Italy.
Not Florence, Italy. We'd have, what's her name? Mansion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go to that. June 24th, again, is the Lone Star Drift Round 3 at the Houston Police Academy.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Perfect.
Time now for this hour's car review. Mr. Mars had a chance to drive the 2023 Jeep Wrangler.
Yes, and I was really looking forward to this one because it's a 2023 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4XE.
That's
with
4xE.
4xE. I'm reading ahead, sorry. Rubicon 4xE. And it came with the 20th anniversary package. So this is the Unlimited. This is what people look and see, a four-door Jeep. It's the Unlimited that they're dealing with. So that's what this 4xE is based on. It comes in 4 trim levels, a Willys, a Harris, a Rubicon, and the high altitude. Now, we happen to be reviewing the Rubicon, and it included several things related to the 20th anniversary package that was tacked on top of this. Now, the Wrangler just went through its last major redesign for the Unlimited back in 2018, so there wasn't a lot of styling changes. So you're going to find your standard 7-slot grill up front. Had automatic headlights. This one, the Rubicon, comes with steel bumpers. It had some blue tow hooks on it. That's part of the 20th anniversary package. Some of the blue tints or blue tones, blue styling. Accents is what I'm looking for.
You're welcome.
So it's got the top. There's a decal on the top of the hood. There's a hood side decal, and actually the lot of features and badging on it related to the 20th anniversary. And had the rock rails. I'm sorry, I cannot read. This was late last night. My bad. So it had the 17 by 7.5 inch black beadlock capable wheels on it with 33-inch tires. Now, this is from the factory. You're going to roll on some 33s when you come out of this thing. And you go to the interior on it. The Napa leather seating is optional, but they were heated front seats. And again, the interior has several anniversary-related features on it, like red seat belts, red interior accents that go along with that. Kind of made it really stand and pop out on top of the regular Napa leather that was in this thing. Had an 8.4-inch Uconnect screen. That's where you're going to find your audio convenience controls and all the features that you can connect into with your phone. We also had the Alpine audio system that is an upgrade. So we're going to talk about, really, this is the Jeep Wrangler. It's trail rated. So we're going to get out here up underneath the hood. So it uses a combination. It's got a 2.0 turbo inline 4, and it's got 2 electric motors, and it's got a 700 amp battery that goes with this to power it all. So you put this all together, and you end up with 375 horsepower on it. Now, because of the battery and the other things that have come with this with the Rubicon, because of the trail rating, this thing weighs in at 5,275 pounds. Wow. It's kind of heavy.
Yeah, chunky.
It's got an 8-speed automatic transmission. They've got that across several parts of their line. It's a great transmission. This vehicle is capable, properly equipped, of towing 3,500 pounds. Now, the EPA, the ratings on this thing, because of it is a plug-in type hybrid setup. Now, it says you should get about 49 miles per gallon electronic, the E that's on it. 20 out here on the gas is what you should be looking for. Now, the EV portion of it is capable of going 22 miles. Now, Stellantis or Jeep says it takes about 12 hours to charge that, to do that. And you got to remember, this thing it's a Jeep, it's a Wrangler, it's a four-door, it's shaped like a brick. So you're going to get a lot of, I got a lot of wind and road noise, and even the rain created some noise in it. But part of that was because it has the one-touch removable top option. Now, this is a $42.95 option in taking off the top. And if you think about it, and I really thought about it, I would take the top off. I would take the doors off, so road noise is not going to be a consideration. But I will
like
say,
taking my top off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just a bottle of wine for you.
I figured just half a glass. But anyway, the extra weight, and I mentioned that this thing was a little heavy. The extra weight actually helped with the ride because this is a Rubicon. It's got the stiff suspension on it. So that it makes the highway ride a lot better. Now, this is a 4xE, so it is available it does have the $7,500 tax credit that's available for this vehicle. Now, you can get a base Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon for about $56,530. Now, the base trim for the 4xE version is $60,585. However, because of the options we had, such as that almost $4,300 removable top option, the MSRP of this vehicle was set up at $81,150 with the anniversary package.
Wow.
There's a ton of stuff on
Heck,
this
I'll
vehicle.
take my top off for $4,600.
Absolutely. So, and again, much like the
I'll take
Grand
it off
Cherokee,
just because I can, without any money.
I just threw up.
because of the bottle of wine. But again, like last week, talking about the Grand Cherokee 4xE, the competitors of this vehicle. You can look at vehicles that are similar size. You can look at off-road vehicles, but to get into an EV setup or a plug-in hybrid that's got that capability, it's hard to do. So, to me, there just is nothing comparable if you're looking for that type of vehicle. And they have it. They take them out on the Rubicon and trails and everywhere else.
Well, let me just say this about off-road vehicles. It's very difficult to compare an off-road vehicle, i.e., the Bronco, the Wrangler. Off-road vehicles are just that. And don't think you're not going to have wind noise and some of the other things that go along with an off-road vehicle. They don't ride the same as a car.
No, they don't.
And so don't compare them to cars. You got to compare them
It's got a lot of straight edges and sharp edges that create wind noise.
Well, it just, it's a square body vehicle, and that's to add to those off-road capabilities with the off-road camera systems and things that you can get with it.
The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. And 30-minute podcasts are at your fingertips on over a dozen of the most popular podcast outlets. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break. Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise-in date right here on In-Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6 or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise Inn, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.